Good afternoon, Mr. Simpson. How you doing? Amani Simpson, you well?
Yes, man. What are you saying? You good?
I'm good. Blessed, always, in always. We're here to talk about you got something coming out, premiering in July called Save Me. When I got the PR, I said to myself, you know, I have to talk to this young man because what struck me wasn't the themes and narratives in this particular short that you've produced. It was the fact that it's going to be used as a digital training tool in schools across the UK, which means the themes have resonated with the powers that be. So tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, man. So Save Me is a short film that I wrote and directed in collaboration with young people from Enfield. It's a film that follows two teenagers that are connected through trauma that jump in a cab journey. They jump in a cab in search of freedom. And so, yeah, it's a deep film. It's a film that was written intentionally to start conversation and to empower change. And yeah, for me, it's all about how people that watch the film can use it to conversate with each other about what they can do in their community, speak to young people about some of the dangers of that happen around them, and yeah, essentially just be a tool for a generation to use and, you know, safeguard our young people.
Where did this start? Because obviously it's great that it's been taken up by schools and it's going to be used in the way that it's going to be used to educate the next generation. But where did you start with that in mind, or was it just something you developed along the way? How was the process?
So it was commissioned by Enfield Council, which is, I grew up in Enfield, so they commissioned me to make a film of the success of my first short film, Amani, which was about me. They initially wanted to make a training DVD, and I just said, yeah, I can't remember the last time I watched the DVD, so let's do a short film, right? And yeah, we had done like an initial pilot project about empowering families and early interventions and stuff like that for children in primary school. And so this was a legacy piece off the back of that film. And so, yeah, when I was given the commission, if I'm honest, initially I thought like I was just going to produce it. I wasn't going to direct or write because I'd never written or directed before. This was my writer-director debut. And so I started to work with young people and, you know, listen to them. And then before you knew it, I just kind of fell in love with the idea of telling Dean and Fiona's story. And then lockdown happened, you know, the pandemic happened, and an opportunity presented itself for me to basically dive deeper into writing and directing it. And I just used that kind of downtime that, you know, everyone was inside their house to watch loads of masterclasses, read loads of books, speak to friends that were writers and directors, and just said, when am I going to get another chance to write and direct my first film, you know? And so I just took the opportunity and used it to basically do something that I'm super proud of, man. We shot this in 2021. So I've had this film loading for a while, and I'm just so happy that we're moments away from it being outside, and then whatever comes next, basically.
When you got the nod then and you understood that this was going to go further than just being aired and screened and forgotten about, and it was going to be used as a tool, I mean, what were those conversations like, and how did you feel as a man who, like you just said, hadn't written or directed before?
Do you know what? It was always a legacy piece. I think it was just working out what that legacy looked like and what the components of that were, what are the measures, like the markers of success, the milestones, right? So yeah, just everything I make, everything I'm involved in has to have some kind of sustainability and impact and have a reach, because young people are not just a monolith of, they're from North London or wherever, they're everywhere, up and down the country. And so if we create something, it has to be scalable to the point of someone in Rochester could watch this film and see themselves represented, even if it's not a color situation, you know, it's not their heritage, it's that feeling. And so, yeah, I think for me, it was always going to be a legacy piece. It was just trying to work out what that looks like. And so then we started thinking about creating a handbook. And that handbook, when I was writing the scenes with so much depth to them that my favorite director is Christopher Nolan. And so when Christopher Nolan makes a film, there's depth to it, right? And so these characters are deep. There's lots of small little things that you might miss if you're not paying attention. And so what the handbook will allow us to do is to go into those moments and pick some of those things out in a workshop or a school or a community screening or something. So yeah, it's creating tools that people can use and empower the country just to talk about this, really.
Your fervor, your passion really comes through when you're talking about this project. Obviously, you've had it loading since 2021 and you were creating before that, right? Talk about a little bit about yourself. So how did you step into this realm? Why have you decided, you're going to run with the ball? What was it about Amani? For those who haven't seen that, tell them where they can find it and a little bit about that. But what was it about that kind of triggered you to head in this direction?
You know what? It was seeing that you can do one piece of work and reach millions of people. So Amani is a short film about myself. Unfortunately, when I was younger, I got groomed, and then when I got a little bit older, I got stabbed 7 times. And by God's grace, I'm still here. But the process of turning my life around and standing tall is one that, I guess, hearing the reoccurring narrative of our young people, I wanted to showcase that. If I'm honest, I was a bit hesitant at the beginning about doing it because it's your personal story, and I would rather have just kind of initially stayed quiet and stayed out of the limelight. But I think I was saved for a reason, to be part of the change that I want to see in this generation and to collaborate with other people. And so collaborating with Javan Wade, who was Shiro and Shiro's story and played me and has gone on to do amazing things, it was a natural connection. That's my brother. And so when it came out and did 1 million views in 4 days, and then now we've had just under 4 million views on that video, it's changed the way that I've seen storytelling impact. You can go, I don't think I've even spoken to 1 million young people, let alone 4 million young people in the time that I've been doing my work. But the film is constantly being used. It's an asset. It's online. It's constantly rising in views. It's constantly getting comments. And I was just like, I need to do more of that, because that's a space where I'm seeing young people. Like, I'm seeing the comments, and the comments don't lie. The comments are saying, look, this made me really think, I don't want to do this road thing no more. I had a young person yesterday say that he watched it in jail. And when he came out, he was like, nah, there's more to this thing, And that, to me, it's emotional when I think about those things, because that's what technology and media is able to do if it's a tool for good, right? So just want to keep doing that, basically.
So I love that you've come out of this so positively and have the positive mindset that you do. Stabbed 7 times, groomed, that's a lot. Most people will never experience that in their lifetime. Most people. It seems to be such an endemic issue at the moment. I hear a lot from older people like myself on this issue, but I want your thoughts on where we are, where knife crime and the whole issue of grooming and people going cunch, where that is concerned. Yeah. Are we on top of it? Are we anywhere near being on top of it? How old are you, Amani?
33.
Right. See, you look younger than you are. So you're not as young as I thought, but obviously you're younger than most who contribute to this discussion. Are we doing the right things out here?
We're moving in the right direction. I think there's a number of things. There's definitely the toll of austerity over all the years of, cuts being made to youth services and things like that. And that's decimated lives, man. With generations that have struggled and not had the support necessary. I think as well that a lot of it comes down to what young people subscribe to. I think a lot of the prevailing narratives within youth culture are kind of stuck in a particular viewpoint, that the streets is the way forward, that, for want of a better word, delinquency and criminality and quick wins and all of that is the way to go forward. And I think there's lots of people doing great work in order to combat that, but it's definitely, we're fighting a battle here. This is a massive battle for hearts and minds and ambition and stuff. And it's going to take a real unified effort, which is why I talk about the community, to really change that trajectory for young people. You need so many different components to go into really combating knife crime, combating offending rates, criminality, all of that stuff. There's so many different factors. And I guess it's just everyone kind of picking up a piece of this mission and saying, I'm going to do this bit, you're going to do that bit, we're going to collaborate. It's not just, I'm trying to get my money and work with my young people. Like, we all have to do it together. So yeah, I would say that, we're moving in the right direction, but there's some community things that need to happen. There's some government things that need to happen. And there's some, character, individual things that need to happen as well. So I think it's a collective response to changing this. but I'm gonna play my part, right? I'm gonna do my bit.
Yeah, I love that. Why did you call it Save Me?
Save Me. That's a good question. Do you know what? I think when I think back to the writing process, I think that was always the name that I had. It was like I'm a visionary. I get things to me. I feel like God just drops downloads on me, right, and just does stuff. And it was one of those names that kind of was the title of the draft scripts all the way through, and then it just stuck. And I remember thinking, oh, I need to find another name, and I started to play with a few names, and I was like, no, but Save Me it just does what it says on the tin, right? And it's exactly what it stands out. And I think also, you know, I looked on Google at some of the other names, and I was like, there's another film that's called that, or that's too long. And Save Me, just there wasn't really anything like that. It gives its own kind of its own space, its own lane. So yeah.
What's next, Amani? What do you want to do next? What mountain you climbing next?
You know what? I'm really interested in there's a couple of things. I think in my personal life, I really just want to enjoy being a dad. I just became a father. So
congratulations, my brother.
Thank you, man. So I'm looking forward to
girl?
Little girl. Okay. So
Congrats, man. Congrats. What I call life's biggest magic trick, my friend.
Yeah, no, I hear that fully. So I'm just excited to like this last couple of months since she's been born have been quite busy, where I've been at key moments, but I think I'm just excited for like a little bit of time over the summer just to be with family and just enjoy, and then load up again for September. And then, yeah, the next thing for me is I'm building an app for young people. I'm building a productivity app for young people. So we're at prototype stage at the moment. And again, that whole thing about scalability and using technology to do great work and to change lives and mindsets. That's what I'm on. So I'm looking to pioneer something very, very soon. So yeah, look out for that towards the end of the year. Next few months, we'll be talking about it. And I'm sure I'll be doing another interview with you, man, just talking more about it. And then more films.
I love it. What kind of films would you like to bring to market? Have you got any that you're working on or thinking about?
Yeah, good question. I want to tell, so my short film, my vision, and I put it out there so that one day I can watch back this recording and be like, yep, remember you said it on the 28th of June or whenever it was, right? I'm going to do a limited series for my story, because my film was very one-sided. It was very much about how I felt, and I haven't included my parents' feelings or my sister's feelings. And the short film isn't an accurate representation of everything that happened to me, because I was very careful and of how I did it. But now that, you know, I'm beginning to speak to my family about how we might tell that story in the future, I'm really inspired to show people the depths that a family can go to, but equally how you can turn around and have love and you know, move past that and forgive each other. So yeah, when the time's right, man, when the right contract's on the table, when the story feels right, I'm gonna tell that story, man. So busy.
I can't wait. You know, earlier on you mentioned that you worked with Javan Wade on, you know, Amani. Talk about that influence and being in those type of circles, because obviously none of us come from a world too dissimilar from each other. It's choices that define us and our paths at the end of the day, especially when opportunity comes knocking. And he seems to, I mean, that whole collective have done, you know, brilliantly. Talk about just being around that group of people and just how they've influenced you and shaped your thinking.
Yeah, man. So Javan and Purcell, they're both my brothers. Like I remember the times, like the early days when they were building the wall of comedy, the wall of productions, and just seeing their vision and some of the challenges that they had even to get to where they are now, as, you know, probably arguably one of the premier online content creators, you know, working with young Philly and everybody, you know, everyone. So I think fundamentally, away from all of that, those are my friends, those are my brothers, and I'm able to speak to them about things that are not just industry related. I think you meet people in the industry and it's like, yeah, let's just talk about industry stuff and what projects you're working on, but we'll find ourselves talking about life. And, you know, I've spent time with both of them away from work, and I think that's really solidified that brotherhood where we may not speak to each other for a few months, but that hug when we see each other is strong. Do you know what I'm saying? Those are my boys. And so I think also when this film was being made, when Amani was being made, having those two with such a wealth of experience of filmmaking and storytelling kind of steering the ship for me as someone that was a new filmmaker and hadn't really ever made it. In fact, it was Javan driving it. It was his idea to make a short film. So, you know, just being around them, to be honest, it gave me a standard. You know, sometimes I think people say, oh, like, you know, I wasn't expecting, like, people that have previewed the film, they're like, I wasn't expecting it to be of that standard. And I'm like, I can't go back. I can't go worse than what I've done. Do you know what I mean? You have to keep rising. And they set the bar so high and continue to just inspire me with what they're doing. And so, yeah, it's great to be, you know, that saying, like, you know, iron sharpens iron. And I've got people around me that sharpen me, that I can send stuff to. My brother, Ola Christian, who runs Laville. I've got Johnny Salmon. I've got, so many people, Toby K, you know, just like all these people that have just, like, Toby just won a BAFTA. And I can just, you know, we've either worked on projects, or these are my peers. These are my brothers and sisters that I can just chat to, and just, you know, they just sharpen me and they know where I'm at. So yeah, man, I'm just trying to continue to rise as I can, but then also making sure that I keep the ladder down for those that need that from me in the future, because I wouldn't be here without the collective input of my people them. So, you know what I mean?
What does Save Me premiere?
Save Me premieres next week, Monday. I don't know when this is coming out, but the 3rd.
Well, yeah, the 3rd of July, yeah.
3rd of July, yeah. So tonight is the first premiere, right? The first premiere is tonight in Enfield, and then tomorrow, the 4th of July, we're gonna have the other one in Mile End, and then the film comes out on Wednesday the 5th. So as of Wednesday, it's gonna be out online. Everyone can use it and download it. It's gonna be on YouTube. If you search Save Me short film, it's gonna come up, and there's gonna be lots of things. I'm doing a whole tour around it. So yeah, you'll hear about it. You know.
Amani Simpson, it's been a pleasure, my brother. Good luck moving forward.
Thank you, King. Appreciate you, man.